Welcome back to Games Radar. I'm Sam and I'm here with Dave Houghton, who's played Jurassic World Evolution, the new Dino Park sim game from Frontier. So tell us, Dave, what was it like?
It's very good. I've played just the first hour so far, so not a huge amount, but I've got a good feel for how the initial setup builds and probably what it's going to lead to later on.
What do you start off with?
You start off with, as I described earlier in the written preview, a sad dino petting zoo, effectively. You've got a feral stretch of land, but you've basically got a field, a lab, not a lot else. Whole lot of forestry you can cut down and expand later on, because you will need to. But to begin with, as much as it's an official Jurassic Park within canon and you are being bankrolled by InGen, you will still need to make a profit, so you will still need to grow slowly and manage it as a business properly as well. So,
money makes the world go round, not dinosaurs.
I mean, money and dinosaurs in that, money makes dinosaurs, but then dinosaurs also make money. So, it's an endless cycle of always be dinoing, really.
How do you make a dinosaur?
Well, starts out, you've got your research lab, but then you also need to build an expedition centre, which is one of the first things you need to get, because the way it works, ultimately, harking back to the earlier Jurassic Park games, there are dig sites all over the world for fossils, and part of your budgetary expenditure on a regular basis is to send expeditions out, find dinosaur fossils, which will have some sort of genome in them, bring back the DNA, and then you can use that to expand your repertoire of dinosaurs. And you start out with like 3 possible ones, but then obviously you're going from this humble beginnings to a full-scale Jurassic World, which will then eventually spread over multiple islands and create a whole resort, basically. So
what did you start off with?
I started out with a Struthiomimus, which I'd never heard of before, but I'm going to pretend I know all about them. I've literally made 2 of them. Well, put it this way, you can name all your dinosaurs as well. XCOM style, which is really important, because it means you get super attached and very sad when they die horribly. Which they may sometimes happen. Definitely didn't happen. Totally happened to me. Well, I call my first one Mega Chicken because they do look like large birds. They're humble, friendly, graceful, semi-graceful herbivores. I made one, sent her out because obviously they're all female because Jurassic Park. Sent my second one out. I need to back up actually, because the important thing with the dinosaurs, as well as being nameable, they all have personality and need stats as well. So there's
dinosaur Tamagotchis, basically.
Kind of, yeah. It's like a dinosaur farming simulator in a weird sort of way as well. Because the wonderful thing is, rather than just being a park sim, which we've had for years, and Frontier have made really great ones, they specifically make it a Jurassic one by adding so many extra layers of gameplay systems that really play into the conceits of the franchise.
So it's not just like a reskinned sort of theme park.
No.
Planet Coaster
And they could have got away with that quite easily with a license, but it's not. I mean, every dinosaur needs looking after on a micro level as well. So they've got basic stats like how happy they are with their habitat, how suitable their habitat is, the amount of food they've got, how well socialised they are. Because some species will be pack animals, some species need to be on their own. So
T-Rex doesn't have any friends,
T-Rex don't need no friends. He rolls alone. He lives by no one's rules. So depending on what they need, you need to create an environment where they're going to be happy. If they get less happy, they get aggressive, they may start trying to break out at some point.
Or eating your visitors.
Or eat your visitors, which is the inevitability of breaking out, really. So there's all this stuff to manage. So I noticed, first of all, my original Struthie wasn't too happy socially. So I made a second Struthie, so friends. And immediately that goes up and they get a lot more calm and placid and it's all good. Eventually I had to expand my park by bringing in a Pterosaur, which was I had to go and research it, get the DNA, bring it back. This is my first big carnivore. You know how this is going to go, right? So I let her out. Problem is that I let her out into the same paddock initially as the Struthies, which should have been fine because I should have had time to separate them out and do the thing. Didn't, right? Because we'd seen a demo earlier on where this happened and there was plenty of time, right? My version, I follow her out because the wonderful thing as well, it's really aware that pulled out strategic camera that simulations have really isn't going to get across the proper Jurassic Park feeling all the time. So you click on a dino to manage it and you'll zoom in to like Dino Cam, where there's this amazing orbiting camera around each.
The graphics look amazing.
They look incredible. They're beautifully animated. The textured like crazy. They feel so like weighty and alive. Every dinosaur is like, it feels like a creature, it's great. And when you're orbiting them at this Dino Cam level, which is built deliberately to be human height, so you've got a real sense of scale.
Oh, wow.
Like they feel like incredible beasts to be around, right? So I follow her out, and then she stops, and then I spin the camera and notice the tail of one of my Struthies coming in out of frame. I zoom out, and then it's dead. It's already dead, right? So then panic management kicks in because I've still got one left.
And this is the beautiful thing about Jurassic World Evolution, is that you get to go into your park as a manager and a keeper.
This is the thing.
And
this is the third layer, because again, just clicking on things to kind of fix dinosaur problem wouldn't feel Jurassic Park, because Jurassic Park's about what happens, the reality of things when it goes really wrong, and it needs to put you face to snout with that, right? And it totally does. So, like your ranger station, which you should have built by now, if you when you're putting carnivores out there, have a ranger station ready, right? So I can send AI rangers out to deal with this, but where's the fun in that? So I can handle it myself instead, manually fly the chopper over to the paddock.
Oh wow!
And then switch to an FPS mode with a trank dart rifle. And then manually try and put her down so I can deal with the situation, which led to this amazing emergent, sort of genuinely dynamic, gameplay-driven set piece where I'm ploughing darts down from this little fart of a rifle that can it's barely got any range, and a load of drop-off, while trying not to get too close to her as well, because I'm in a helicopter.
Yeah, you don't want to kill her, do you?
No, or scare her off, or get my chopper pilot mauled, right? So I get one trank dart, it's not quite enough, and then she notices Mega Chicken and goes charging off.
And so you lost both your herbivores in one foul.
Well, this is what I'm trying to avoid. At this point, I'm like, I've ruined this the second I brought a carnivore in, which is, that thing you always moan at the management in the films for doing, but no. So I'm gunning across the paddock in a helicopter after her, frantically flying darts out. Eventually managed to catch her just like seconds before she eats the other one, and then ship her out, and then I can build a new paddock for her, fly her over unconscious, and hopefully start rebuilding, having not lost too much money for a schoolboy error getting one of my first exhibits eaten.
Well, I guess you learn, right? And Jeff Goldblum's constantly in your ear telling you you've done wrong anyway.
Oh, this is the great thing. Whatever you do, your Uncle Jeff's never happy, right? Because like the big thing is, and it is brilliant in game, in that Jeff Goldblum's back as Ian Malcolm. The deal being that obviously Ian Malcolm is very much against this sort of stuff, like any Jurassic's getting built, because he's seen enough already at this point. But
old hat.
Yes, he is not his first rodeo, but he knows. But ultimately, if it's going to happen, he'd rather it happens with him telling everyone not to do the bad
waggling
thing.
His finger.
Yeah. So as much as you've got structurally, you've got the entertainment, science and security division heads of the company giving you new missions and objectives and kind of pushing the story forward. You've also always got Ian as a semi-tutorial, semi-angry parent, kind of talking you through everything. And
what have you done?
He's sort of like your moral compass, while the other guys are the business guys, basically. Okay. Which, again, to get the Jurassic Park balance, you need that. I mean, so far it tends to be kind of, don't do this, why are you doing this? This is awful, maybe don't do this, stop doing this. And when it goes wrong, did you see why that happened? Which is exactly as it should be. But, it keeps... We don't exactly know where your character fits within the great scheme of things yet, but having that moral mix right across the board, again, feels really right for the franchise. So
well, it sounds like it's, part business management, part dino farming RPG, and part, like, weird, panicky FPS. So it sounds amazing. Like, when's it coming out?
It's coming out on June the 12th. That's PS4, Xbox One, and PC. That's the digital release. And then there is also going to be a physical release on console coming out on the 3rd of July.
Awesome. Well, if you want to play Jurassic World Evolution, let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that big button in the middle to subscribe for more news, reviews, previews and more from us here at Games Radar Plus.